Good evening, Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching this, you're checking in. So, in my infinite wisdom, I've decided to make a travel tube for my fishing poles because they just kind of get mixed up with everything in the back of the truck if I break them down, or they're exposed to weather and being jostled around in the back of the truck, also with the chance of being stolen, which has happened before. But, so yeah, that's what I'm doing. What I'll be using for this product is two 24-inch pieces of 3-inch PVC pipe, a union or coupler as it were, two end caps with screw lids. Now, I could put just a regular end cap on it, however I want it to be kind of universal looking, and also this gives me access to both sides if for some reason something gets stuck. I got Gorilla Glue. I've got these little foam pads that I'm going to put in there due to the screw things here, just to keep the friction down if they start moving around. I've also got a sling and a sling set. Basically, the two screws is what I'll be using. Paint, some Dremel stuffs, and yeah, sandpaper. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So first thing I'm gonna do is put it together like so, and I'm gonna mark. I've got these two bolts here. Notice that this is a carriage bolt. It's tapered on one end. I want that on the inside so my poles aren't scraping against threads and whatnot. And I'm going to put a handle right here, a cloth handle. So I'm going to put it together and then mark where I want the handle to be. And the handle's about as big around as long as my fist as this is union here. So I'm just going to use that and just kind of guesstimate approximately about an inchish. Yeah. And I use yon Dremel and drill holes and shit. Now I've got two holes. That's right, see if it fit. Yep, yep, cool. Alright, I'm gonna break it apart and put the bolts in there and tighten them down so that little square will be forced in that hole there and make it flush on the bottom. And move on to the next step from there. Yeah, oh. So I'm gonna take these pads here and they've got adhesive backs. Very adhesive backs. I don't have fingernails. There we go. Bloop. And I'm going to put it on the back side of these screw ends here. And it just falls in there like perfect.
Heck yeah.
And if it doesn't stick like it's supposed to, I've got Gorilla Glue. But for right now, it seems like it should do the job. Yeah. Yeah, see? Something on there. Cool. And that'll help reduce friction if they start moving around and whatnot. So, keep my poles safe from every aspect I can possibly think of. Oh, hello, Moto. And put the other one on. Down there. Cool. Okay. That's that. Now I'm going to glue this all together. It's going to be great. So, using this stuff, oddly crystallized, probably because it's been in the bed of the truck in sub-zero weather. We'll see if it still works. I'm going to coat this. Still smells like I can get high off it. Put that on there. That's good. And then some more in here. Ooh, that's a motherfucker. Of course, matching up my bolts that I've already pre-installed. Now, I pre-installed those first because it would be hella hard to get those in there after the fact. There we go. Right, so that's that. Now I'll put the end caps on. Same way. This stuff still works. We'll find out, won't we? It's like hagfish slime. That's a completed tube anyway. Now I just gotta paint it and put the sling on it. And then find a strap for this, which won't be too hard. Okay. Make sure the paint goes on good and stays on good. I'm gonna put this 100 grit sandpaper and just kind of go over the whole thing just to get enough surface scratches on there to hold the paint right. It's yellow. And now I'm going to camouflage it with shrubbery and flat black paint. It's gonna be rad.
Yeah.
So, it's like that. Yeah. So I'm gonna do all this and then let it dry again. And we'll see what happens. And so we have the painted product, which I think looks pretty rad. I got these cool freaking designs. It's reminiscent of lightning, I would say.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome.
There you go. So the next part is the handle. We'll get right to that. Thank you. So I put a handle on it using a piece of a ratchet strap and these two bolts that we saw earlier, and it works out quite well. I'm actually going to wait on the sling because it's not quite long enough for where I want it, so I'm going to work on that. But as of right now, it has a carry handle, which is good enough. And I'm going to take the Dremel and saw these bolts off flush. Of course, they won't go nowhere. And yeah. So that's my tubey tube. You can see in there, two bolts, the two lag bolts. They're rounded and whatnot, and they won't interfere with the poles whatsoever. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. This is, something I've been to do for a while, and I finally did it with some inspiration from a gorgeous woman,
Oh.
as are most things inspired by.
That thing is so cool.
So you have a good night. Thanks for hanging out, checking in, and until next time.